day, classmates. Good day, ma'am. Me and my partner, which is Jam Annette Timbresa, we will report to you about the flipped classroom, the disadvantage and advantage of flipped classroom, and how to create a flipped classroom. Let me define first what is flipped classroom. So, flipped classroom is a type of blended learning where students are introduced to content at home and practice working through it at school. This is the reverse of the more common practice of introducing new content at school, then assigning homework and projects to completed by the students independently at home. In this blended learning approach, face-to-face interaction is mixed with independent study, usually via technology. In a common flipped classroom scenario, students might watch pre-recorded videos at home, then come to school to do the homework armed with questions and at least some background knowledge. The concept behind the flipped classroom is to rethink when students have access to the resources they need most. If the problem is that students need help doing the work rather than being introduced to the new thinking behind the work, then the solution the flipped classroom takes is to reverse that pattern. So let's move on. What the students might do at home in a flipped classroom. So these are the following that students might do at home with a flipped classroom. Watch an online lecture, review online course material, read physical and digital text, participate in an online discussion. And what students might do at school in a flipped classroom. So those are also the following: skill practice like guided or unguided by the teacher, in-person, face-to-face discussion with peers, debate, presentation, station learning, lab experiments, and peer assessment and review. So overall, students access to teachers once with the videos at home and again in the classroom, increasing the opportunity for personalization and more precise guiding of learning. In the flipped classroom model, students practice under the guidance of the teacher while assessing content on their own. A side benefit is that teachers can record lectures that emphasizes critical ideas, power standards, and even the phase of a given curriculum map. It is also has the side benefit of allowing students to pause, rewind, Google terms, and rewatch, and etc. Let's move on to the advantage and disadvantage of a flipped classroom. The first advantage of a flipped classroom is that students have more control. So, in a flipped classroom, it is possible for students to have increased input and control over their own learning. By providing short lectures at home, students are given the freedom to learn at their own pace. Students may pause or rewind the lectures, write down questions they may have, and discuss them with their teachers and peers in the class. This also allows students who need more time to understand certain concepts, like if they did not understand the word or the certain concept, they can search the meaning of it. And then, it can take time to reviewing the material without getting left behind and receive immediate assistance from teachers and classmates. As a result, this can not only improve students' achievement but improve students' behavior in a class as well. The second one advantage is that it promotes student-centered learning and collaboration. Flipped classroom allow class time to be used master skills through collaborative projects and discussions. This encourages students to teach and learn concepts from each other with the guidance of their teachers. By allowing students to partake in their own learning, they are able to own the knowledge they achieve, which in turn builds confidence. Furthermore, teachers are given the ability to identify errors in a thinking or concept application and are more available for one-on-one interaction. The third advantage is that lessons and content are more accessible because we are all have our technology to access. By making video lectures available at all time online, students who are forced to miss class due to illness, sports, vacation, or emergencies can catch up quickly. This also gives teachers more flexible when they themselves are sick or also eliminated make-up assignments. So through this flipped classroom, teachers can video themselves or while lecturing their topic or their contents. That is why flipped classroom is very important, especially to the teachers who are sick or who eliminates make-up class or assignments. The fourth advantage is that access easier for parents to see what's going on. Unlike traditional classroom model, flipped classroom give parents 24/7 hours access to students' video lectures. This allows parents to be better prepared when attempting to help their students and give them insight into the quality of instruction their students are receiving. And the fifth or the last advantage is that it can be more efficient. So done properly, in a flipped classroom, kids can have more time to be kids, whether that means more free time or more academic practice. So for example, today we are facing the COVID-19, and then teachers can create their flipped classroom and upload it in the YouTube. Since we have our own YouTube account, so teachers can upload the clip or the video lectures in the YouTube, and then if the students have done watching the videos or the lectures, kids can have time to play or bond with their families. That is why flipped classroom is very important again.
So those are the advantages of flipped classroom. So now let's move on to disadvantages of flipped classroom. So the first disadvantage of flipped classroom is it can exacerbate or digital divide. One of the most prominent issues is the necessity for students to have access to a computer and internet in order to view the lectures. This is particularly hard on students from low-income districts who already have limited access to resources. So, number 2, it relies on preparation and trust. There is also the concern that since flipped classrooms are dependent on students' participation, one must trust students to watch the lectures at home. Unfortunately, there is no way to guarantee students will oblige or cooperate with a flipped model. The third one is there is significant work on the fourth end. Additionally, there is a concern that implementing a flipped classroom adds an extra workload on teachers, as there are several elements that must be integrated carefully to allow class to flourish. Responsibilities include typing and uploading condensed lectures, which take time and skill, and introducing activities in the classroom that will enhance the subject matter as well as motivate students to participate and prepare for class. Though teachers can gradually integrate flipped elements into their classroom, it will require additional time and effort from teachers. The fourth one is time in front of screen instead of people and places is increased. There are some who believe that if every teacher starts flipping their classrooms, students will spend hours in front of a computer watching the lectures. One may argue that this has the potential to cause serious problems to students' learning process, as not everyone may be as adept to learning through a computer. So those are the disadvantages of flipped classroom. So the main goal of flipped classroom is to enhance student learning and achieve by reversing the traditional model of classroom, focusing time on student understanding rather than on lecture. To accomplish this, teachers post short video lectures online for students to view at home prior to the next class session. This allows class time to be devoted to expanding on the mastering the material through collaborative learning exercises, projects, and discussions. Essentially, the homework that is typically done at home is done in the classroom, while the lectures that are usually done in the classroom are viewed at home. By watching this video, you will know how to create a flipped classroom.
The most challenging part in implementing the flipped classroom model is creating flipped videos from scratch. In my case, I use loose whiteboards, colored markers, and the camera in my MacBook Pro in producing my math videos. I am also using Dr. McCammon's Viz method, a research-based approach in creating video lessons where the teacher shows handwritten lectures for the students to watch. Dr. McCammon believes that hand gestures, eye contact, and facial cues are the least effective video publishing for a flipped classroom. It usually takes me 10 to 15 minutes to finish recording my lecture video. My students know that my videos are meant to introduce the topic that they will see the next day. They also find the video a better way of taking down notes, so they don't need to copy them in class. In my videos, I use ScreenFlow or QuickTime or iMovie in editing my video. After my quick edit, I then upload it to YouTube and embed it in my website numberbender.com so my students can see it and view it at home.